Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again. It's Wednesday, midweek Wednesday, and about this time of year, a lot of times I will put out a video on some of the flea markets or tool shows I tend to, and some people enjoy it, some people don't. Some people don't have this in their area, and they look forward to these type of videos, but I went to Elephant's Trunk last week, and it was just a delightful day. I love going there. It's a lot of walking, it's just a fantastic time out. But I filmed a few things of me going through the flea market because I just wanted you to sit back for a moment, if you like this kind of video, and pretend that you're walking along with me and we're having a discussion of things that we point out to each other as we're walking down the aisles. Now, you'll see a lot of different items here if I film it. It's because I've had some kind of interest in it or thought it was pretty interesting. So if you see something on the video that you like, let us know in the comments. Let us know if it takes you back in time, if you've had one of those. And that's the whole fun of going to a flea market. And then I'll show you what I picked up. I picked up a couple things. Some things I'm sure you're probably wouldn't guess I picked up. Maybe you did. But there's one major regret I had of not buying, and I'll tell you what that is at the end of the video. See if you could pick out what it is, and let's get right to it now. I've never seen that you're carrying. Well, I hate to see you. The unbroken bye-bye.
Came from either Vermont or Maine, but bring that to Brisbane.
Now, only last year I found out about this bakery tent setup that they have, and it is absolutely fantastic. Pastries, bakery items. You got to hit this place and pick something up. It's great.
Oh, okay. Yes, a little bit.
Now, this is Michael and his lovely daughter, Millie, and they just started coming and selling at the Elephant Trunk, and they have some great deals. I'll tell you more about it when I do a saw. Now you're starting to come to the...
No,
now, you make all
these...
these...
here every week.
What's that, rosewood?
Yeah, if you're restoring any planes and you want to put something fancy on it as opposed to originals or whatever.
Now, I wanted that eagle and one of these beacon lights so bad. More things I can't fit. Now, for the life of me, I can't figure out what this chair does. I know it has a jack screw and it looks pretty cool, but I never seen one.
And you wind it up and you got it. This is what we didn't need before we had, cell phones and before it was oil.
Yeah, I bought that toaster.
That's right.
Here's another fantastic dealer at Elephant's Trunk. Look at all the awesome electric tools he had. And remember, locomotive sanders. We're going to talk about that very shortly. Locomotive sanders. Now, some of you old timers, this is going to take you right back. Remember these little books they used to have? These were fantastic back in the day. Special shout out to Big Vic and 357 Magdad.
Or your stuff you bought at other places.
Yeah, 20's done. Stuff like that.
10 and then
Spots in the front wheel.
$1 on it.
You just gotta find it.
Look at this cool bat. Looks like something that would hang over a bar or something. You see that big bat?
so like you could turn your barn into like a sign collection
They're $5.
Tripod.
I sent it to you, you don't get it.
Look at. Now, here was a young kid that was making all these little sculptures out of baling wire. And that's something, pretty talented kid, all kinds of things. Look at that.
So you want to hang on my house?
It's different, that's for sure.
No.
Hang it on the house.
Brand new ones are $1,200.
How much?
$1,200 now for a brand new one.
Brand new what?
Leather helmet.
Yeah.
And they're up there. Oh, I know. And you can get this here, half price. I'll do better than
Okay, so as you can see, it was just an absolutely beautiful time. And the weather was perfect, but did you pick out what you think I bought or what you think I regret not buying? I'll tell you. Let me tell you what I regret not buying. And I'll tell you the truth, I said I was going to pick it up, but the room, no room. It was the Sun Master Gauge combo that they used to have in old-time gas stations. And, oh, this thing was so beautiful. And the guy was such a nice guy. I told him, I said, oh, I love this thing. And he's like, I'll give you a great price, $100 for both the cabinet and the master cluster of gauges, the Sun. Oh, $100. I mean, first of all, that was a fantastic buy. But it's just like getting it home and getting it in the room. It takes up a lot of. I was just going to buy the head, the gauge part, and I keep that thing in my kitchen. I loved it. I regret it. As a matter of fact, I went back. I said, I got to do it. I got to buy it. I'm going to regret it, and it was sold. But I was happy somebody recognized a beautiful thing like that and bought it. And But let me show you some other things I picked up. You know, I'm a big fan of glassware and stuff, and let me show you what I picked up. Now, the first item I picked up, I didn't buy this another time, and I regretted it, and it just popped up again. And what this is, it's made for deviled eggs. Deviled eggs is a delicacy. It's made from hard-boiled eggs that you cut in half, and then you mix up the yolk with some mayonnaise, and I grew up with them. I love them, and I still eat them, so... But this is a deviled egg server, and just how beautiful is this, huh? And, you know, it really doesn't do justice here because you have to have the right kind of lighting, especially outside on a sunny day. This is like all iridescent. It's just beautiful, and it is like a pressed glass. You see that? Just absolutely beautiful. I love glassware, and this is just something that as soon as I saw it, I said, boy, I want that. And sure enough, I bought it. Isn't that nice? Next up, as soon as I saw this piece, I grabbed it. I said, I want this piece, and it was made in Poland by the Royal Gallery, and it's what a nice piece this is. And I bought this from my girlfriend's mother for Mother's Day, and just take a look at that. It's, you know, you really can't see through the camera how beautiful that cobalt blue is up here, and just the twirls and the glass, and oh, this is just a piece of art. This is just absolutely beautiful. In fact, let me tell you something. I'm so nervous handling it because I have butterfingers whenever, and I drop stuff all the time. So I'm really careful, but this will be for my girlfriend's mother. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I love that. Next up, I know you're probably wondering what kind of tools I bought, and I stopped buying tools. But every once in a while, something follows me home, and a couple things, I don't know. I got an affliction. Let's check out what I got here. Okay, first up, you know I'm not one to buy really collectible type tools, but this one here was a very nice example of a rare wrench you don't usually see, especially at a flea market. And this is a 1903 or thereabouts Erland automatic pipe wrench, and it's very interesting because this is somewhat of the early ages of pipe wrenches, and you can see here it has a lever on it, and there's a spring, internal spring, and when you squeeze the lever, it opens up the jaws, and it gives you access to wrap the pipe wrench around the pipe, whatever you're working on. And if you look here, the jaws have teeth that go all the way around, curved back to the back, and it's a very interesting wrench, quite rare. I paid $25, which is kind of a lot. Next up, I lied when I said I bought only one collectible tool. This here is another collectible tool, and I don't know if a lot of you know what this is. Take a look at it. It's well made. You can see that the gearing, the cutouts. It's got a little leather pad back here, and it looks like some kind of jack. Watch what happens when you crank it up. You hear it? And you see the little this little arm gripping into this teeth. And then it stops, you know? And so what would that be for? What kind of small, lightweight jack would this be used for? Now, to release it, you press this down, and then you would wind this back down. You see? So what do you think that's for? I'll tell you in a minute. Really cool. Very collectible. Next up is an item I bought that I wanted for a very long time, and I wasn't going to pass it by because the price was right. At $75 is what I paid. The motor alone is a beautiful motor. And what this is, it's a die file grinder. And I'll show you how that works, but it's very interesting. And you can see here when the motor turns this pulley, it raises and lowers this little area back here. You can see here, I'll lower you down. Here we go. You can see as I turn this back and forth, there's a little arm that goes in there, quite complicated, a little shaft that rides, and on top here, a file will come through this hole here, and it's made to prototype and to file. Let me show you how it works. Now, anytime you're going to run some vintage machinery, the first thing you have to do is look at all the moving parts and make sure you give a good coat of oil. And this, you use a 3-in-1 motor oil. You see here? That's a SAE 20 weight oil. And even the bushings on the motor, everything's been oiled. The oil cap over here, you raise this up. You put some oil in there because that's a sleeve in there. And we'll start it up now. Now, how beautiful is that? Now you can see here what's happening is the file is going up and down, and that's what you would use it for. you needed to file or make Now, to change the file bits, there's a little screw here, a set screw, that you just raise this up, and if you want to put another type of file in, you just push this in like that, tighten up the screw down here that holds it, locks it in. And what's nice about this type of machine, if you want to file inside something, like if you want to get the rust, let's say, outside of the inside of this, so you could see the applications. There's hundreds of applications, especially for prototyping and things like that. It's mainly for tool and die makers used to use these a lot. Really cool. Okay, did you guess what this is? This is from an old gas station years ago. What they used to use this for was to depress the brake pedal. Okay, so what you would do is you would take this leather pad, you would put on the brake pedal, and this would go on the dashboards. Back then were metal, remember, back in the early 1900s, and this would clip under the dash, and you would wind this up until it depressed the gas pedal. And once you had it nice and tight, then you could do your front end alignment, or you could work on it, whatever the case may be. When you want to release it, you just squeeze that like that, wind it back down, and release the brake pedal. So very interesting. This came from an old timer who was 90 years old, this machinist's neighbor, and he said his father used it in his garage back in the early 1900s. So if this thing could talk, right? Beautiful. So in closing, I got some interesting items, a couple more items I didn't just have time to show you, but what was your favorite? And should I have picked up that Sun motor tester? Was that not just absolutely beautiful? That's a regret. I'll be kicking myself for that. I just don't have the room for it. But man, did I want that bad. And anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great day. See you again on Friday. Bye-bye now.